Why Europe's addicted to cocaine?
Que la guerra contra las drogas ha fracasado rotundamente.
We need to talk about cocaine.
Especially in East Germany, it's really, really easy to get drugs, even hard ones.
You can just walk into a club and get your hands on something in under 5 minutes.
Okay.
Europe's cocaine crisis is getting wider and deeper.
The coke is everywhere.
It's pretty much the most profitable substance in the entire world.
From blackmail to kidnappings and torture, criminal gangs have unleashed an unprecedented wave of drug-related violence.
Okay.
All the big Colombian drug dealers, they going to Europe. It's easier to import the drug.
It'll only end up with you being captured or killed.
Damn, Europe! You little, you riding the slopes? You're on the white slopes. You guys are, I know you're fucking around like that.
One of the Netherlands' most renowned crime reporters has been shot and seriously wounded in Amsterdam.
A set of shipping containers converted into a makeshift prison with a soundproof torture chamber.
Jesus Christ. Bro's got a fucking movie intro for his YouTube video. I need to get Adish on this. We need this for every Big A clip. we need like a slow motion 3D graphic of like a glizzy exploding or something at the beginning of. Why Europe's addicted to cocaine.
These days, cocaine is everywhere. On TV, in music, in clubs, and at work.
You ordered Diet Coke, that's a joke, right?
We wanted to know more about this
Your
drug.
league career?
Where does it come from? What does it do to those who
that
consume
Fizz guy made you?
And why is it all of a sudden flooding Europe? We had a ton of questions. So we started looking for answers. From scientists, experts, doctors, users, and you. A few months ago, we asked viewers of our German channel to share their experiences with cocaine. Nearly 4,000 of them reached out to us. From all their stories, we created these characters. They're based on real people from Germany, but we changed their voices and fictionalized their names. Of course, their stories aren't representative of society in general, but they do help us better understand cocaine.
Okay.
Let's dive in.
Right.
Okay.
Tony just started his shift as a doorman at the club, but he's already fighting off exhaustion.
I work 12-hour shifts in my main job.
A little bump.
It's a 2-shift system, days and nights. A constant, unhealthy change. You just run out of energy after a while.
Inside the club, Linda has just arrived.
We drop our stuff off at the coat check.
Listen, I can sympathize with the guy being overworked, and so he's out of energy. But the idea of using cocaine as like a repeatable daily source of energy that's going to fail so quickly. Your body will break down. There's nobody that does it.
And head to the bathroom. That's just standard protocol.
Cooks do it?
Across
Cooks?
the street, Max and his crew are at their favorite bar. He's feeling tense.
I guess Wall Street does it.
I get overwhelmed when everyone starts talking over each other.
Upstairs, Nick is getting ready for a long night of World of Warcraft.
Come on. Just do the coke. You know what I'm saying? Cut the wow out of your life. just unplug the computer, do the coke. At least you'd be outside. Go ahead.
In the room next door, Lars dodges another call from his parents. They've been blowing up his phone for days. Meanwhile, Marco is the last one left at the office. He has a few more important deals to close.
I can work all night and only crash for a few hours around noon.
They all have one thing in common. They do coke. They snort the white powder through a small tube.
Dude, there is no fucking way on earth you could work all night on cocaine, crash out at noon, and then be at work the next day and not be obvious. Do you know what I'm saying? There is nobody that doesn't realize that you were on a bender. You would look so obviously on a bender. You would 100%. Only one way to find out. But who cares? I feel like you would lose your job, or you would just turn your cameras off on Teams. You work from home. If you work from home, do you really need to be pulling all-nighters on cocaine?
Or through rolled up bills. That's not just a cliche. Most people take cocaine by snorting it.
Why is everyone in chat saying you'd be surprised like you're all doing 12-hour midnight shifts on coke? Why is everyone in chat being like, no, bro, you don't get it. You don't get it. Guys, at best, you guys are the World of Warcraft guy. Don't pretend you're the finance guy pulling 12-hour shifts. You're the World of Warcraft guy.
Coke is everywhere in Europe. Surveys indicate that over 1.2% of all Europeans between the ages of 15 and 64 do cocaine at least once a year. Among the 15 to 34-year-olds, it's almost 3%. That's roughly 2.7 million people.
Es gibt kaum eine Gruppe, in der Kokain nicht angekommen ist.
Heike Zurhold is a sociologist and criminologist. We met her at the University Medical Center in Hamburg. She probably knows cocaine users, at least here in Germany, better than any other researcher.
Ja.
Oh yeah, she like the party? She's out there. She got the connects.
Wahrscheinlich.
Zurhold studies addiction here at the Center for Interdisciplinary Addiction Research.
European cocaine.
She's spent the last several years interviewing hundreds of users from all walks of life and their cocaine use. The hype around the substance worries her. So does the fact that many people believe they can handle it just fine. Some can, but others lose control without even realizing it.
I'm in love with the coco.
Research
Wait, Coke
indicates
super
a trend
cool?
over the last few years. Young people in Europe are drinking and smoking less on average, but using significantly more cocaine. Heike Zurhold smoking less on average, but using significantly.
This doesn't add up, bro. You can't drink 6% less and do 118% more coke. That's not balancing out.
More cocaine. Heike Zurhold explains this has a lot to do with its ever-increasing availability. Cocaine has never been easier to come by. Global production is hitting new highs every year, and coke is quick and easy to consume, making it a perfect fit for our fast-paced world. But what exactly happens inside the heads of people on cocaine?
Dude, getting bored scrolling TikTok, so you have to take coke to keep it interesting. I just envisioned the dystopia. Somebody's sitting down to scroll, but they need a bump to keep it.
When we laugh, our brains release dopamine. Dopamine motivates us and drives our desire to take action. It's widely considered a key part of the reward system in our brains.
Yeah.
During an orgasm, dopamine levels in the brain rise by about 80%.
I don't know if you guys saw, there was a kind of a discourse on social media, on Twitter. There was a father who wrote this long multi-paragraph essay on like, am I a bad guy that when my son wants to hang out and play catch with me, I fucking hate him? Like, I don't want to do it. All I can think about is like getting back to my coffee and phone. And like, the responses are like, kinda, yeah. Squeaks wrote it, by the way. I'm sorry to put him on blast, but it was Squeaks' post. And yeah, the guy was like so obviously dopamine addicted. He was so obviously like deeply dopamine addicted. And it's like, you couldn't even get a moment of spiritual joy from your son wanting to hang out with you and play catch. +2, not the asshole. The kid sounds annoying as fuck. What if the kid's vibes are shit? You ever think about that? What if you just do a little bump of coke before you hang out with your kids so it takes the edge off?
With crystal meth, that number jumps to around 1,400%, which is why the drug is so incredibly addictive.
Da kann man sich ungefähr.
Damn, so if you take crystal meth, you will no longer enjoy coming. Sex is boring because you did crystal meth. Damn. Is this why people that play League of Legends become virgins? Because obviously it's a very attractive thing to do. League of Legends is a great hobby. So it's not that like, is it because it releases so much dopamine and they don't enjoy having sex? Because like getting a pentakill or like winning your lane and then roaming bot and getting a double kill is like obviously up here with the crystal meth tier.
Which is why the drug is so incredibly addictive.
Da kann man sich ungefähr die Dimension vorstellen, wie stark dieser Kick ist und wie unvergesslich ein solcher Zustand ist schon beim allerersten.
I don't think you can become a virgin. Bro has never played League of Legends. I had sex before I got in the league. I didn't get in the league till sophomore year of college. Okay, I had sex. I became a virgin. Like I promise you. I promise you, dude. It comes back. League of Legends gives it back. You get your V card in the mail. They literally say it.
Konsum.
This is Professor Mulick from Chemnitz University. We talked to him for our documentary on crystal meth. The link is in the description. A cocaine rush isn't as intense as the one you get from meth. According to some estimates, coke increases dopamine release by around 200 to 400% when it's snorted, depending
Rookie
on
numbers.
dosage and purity.
Rookie
Still,
numbers.
It's a massive kick.
Crushing that powder almost felt like a ritual because you knew that very soon everything would feel a bit more intense. Everything would shine a bit brighter.
I can feel it in my nose, feel it slowly running down my throat.
That's how you know it's getting into your system.
Is this video going to be a 30-minute ad for Coke? Let's be careful. I don't want you to go around all these people just telling them how great Coke is, bro. Get to the part where there's like
Your heartbeat
serious
picks up.
consequences.
Everything is pulsing. Your whole body is tingling and you can automatically feel your mood go up.
And all of a sudden you feel strong and pumped.
I feel prettier on the outside too.
Like I'm growing from the inside. You just feel bigger and extremely confident.
I'm just
Bro took
happy.
Cialis, thought it was
Like,
Coke.
Genuinely happy. I get to enjoy life. It's just a really cool feeling.
From the nasal cavity, the substance quickly makes its way through the mucous membrane and into the brain. The high kick.
Was this shit all bought by private equity or the cartels? We're like 7 minutes in, you haven't even mentioned a downside.
Kicks in within just a few minutes. Heart rate and blood pressure rise. Breathing gets faster and body temperature starts to climb. With cocaine, the most intense part of the high hits within 15 minutes. That's when you reach peak euphoria and feel the most uplifted. It keeps you awake and makes you feel invincible, cool, and uninhibited.
This is kind of like winning your lane in League of Legends. Same kind of thing. And then the come down happens right as your jungler starts to feed. And then you get trapped in a 45-minute slog. And then right here, when it's supposed to be 5v5, somebody doesn't group and they fucking throw and it goes negative. So there's like the journey
Over the
is
next
the same.
hour or so, that effect fades. There are many reasons why people use cocaine. Sociologist Heike Zurhold has identified 4 main user groups, and they correspond surprisingly well with what our community told us in their messages. By far the largest group is recreational users.
I heard Jesus did cocaine on a night out. I can feel my face when I'm with you.
Many users take cocaine at parties, mostly on weekends. The problem is that some end up taking too much of it or mixing it with alcohol. Linda is one of them. Tonight, she wants to go all in.
Have fun, a couple of beers, a couple of lines, connect with friends. I guess that's what I want out of a good night out.
It only takes a quick trip to the club bathroom to shake off all that nasty weekday stress.
Wait, I'm sorry. Someone said that's what the song is about? You thought I Can't Feel My Face When I'm With You wasn't about cocaine? You thought he just was having a stroke or something? Yeah, it's a song about drugs, bro.
Linda feels awake, confident, and ready to
He was
party
smiling
till
so
dawn.
hard.
That's when the grinning starts. They've done a line, and I've done a line, and we all just
That's
look at
actually
each other and
sweet that
smile.
you thought that.
To really feel the music at a concert.
Without it, you couldn't really last a whole night in a Berlin club.
Linda doesn't stop at one line. To make it through the whole night, she'll be heading to the
That's the
bathroom a
kids'
few more
boppers?
times to top herself up. After an hour, the effect is gone. That's when many feel the need to take more. Surhold urges users to keep track of time and take long breaks between doses to avoid ODing. For Linda and other users, partying on cocaine has another beneficial side effect. She can handle more alcohol. At least, that's what it feels like. So she has a few more drinks than usual, and she's not alone.
Man hat oft das Gefühl, dass man unter Kokain nicht betrunken wird. Das ist aber falsch. Natürlich
keeps you
wird
from
man
getting
auch
drunk.
man merkt es nur nicht.
If you don't want to get drunk, just don't drink. The point of drinking is to get a little drunk. You know, why are you taking cocaine so you can enjoy the taste of the beer? What's the fucking point? What was the...
Das ist eine große Gefahr.
The mix of cocaine and alcohol creates a byproduct called cocaethylene in the body. It acts similarly to cocaine, but stays in the system much longer. That increases the risk of a fatal overdose by up to 25 times.
Oh, great.
When you work the door at a club, alcohol is off limits. But before his shift, Tony's already done his first line of the night.
Sometimes I'll do it with a coworker, as a sort of social interaction, you know?
Tony belongs to the second group, those who use cocaine as a social icebreaker, to loosen up around other people. He's shy and introverted by nature, which isn't always ideal when you work as a bouncer. Making small talk with guests is...
The bouncer's doing coke to be friendlier? Just, yes, nobody expects you to be that friendly. You're the bouncer. He's shy? You're the bouncer. You check the ID.
much easier on coke.
These days, it just helps me talk through all the crap you have to say all night. Like, hey, what's up? Can I see some ID? And I'm going to have a look at your bag. It's always the same small talk, over.
You got social anxiety about saying, can I see your ID as a bouncer? So you need a bump of cocaine to hype yourself up. Dude, Zoomers are going to be doing cocaine to do a phone call with the bank. I need to make a withdrawal to order a pizza on the phone, bro. What the fuck are you talking about? That's not social anxiety. That's like a regular job question.
And over.
And Tony's not the only one.
Wir haben sozusagen eine Gruppe, die soziale Hemmungen haben, die schüchtern sind, die sagen, ich komme nicht gut in großen Gruppen klar. Da ist Kokain etwas, was ihnen hilft, etwas Hemmungen zu verlieren, ein größeres Selbstbewusstsein zu haben.
Cocaine heavily stimulates the central nervous system. It boosts the release of dopamine, serotonin, and norepinephrine, among other things. Inhibitions drop, confidence spikes. Some of these effects actually intensify with frequent use, like the inflated sense of confidence. Others, like the burst of euphoria, fade with time. The brain adapts to the substance and develops a certain tolerance. Surhold explains that the more you integrate cocaine use into your daily life, the rarer the pleasurable effects become. To feel them again, users have to take long breaks.
It's the bird drug
Frequent
video.
and excessive use can also have lasting effects on the brain. Studies suggest that cocaine can damage both the structure and function of the brain.
You guys know what's better than cocaine? Getting whooshed on the screen. That is a dopamine rush you can't imagine. A whoosh, dude? Holy. Fuck yeah. Then everyone chat spams facts. This guy's riding a high. Chasing that shit forever. Good one, dude. Good one. This guy gets it. Old mate Nico. At old mate Nico. That is fucking funny. Yes, dude. Yes, dude. Why don't you draw a prime, though? Why don't you draw a prime, dude? Maybe we'll do another whoosh. I feel like it's easier to whoosh someone when they're primed. I'm just thinking about it.
Severe cases can even lead to personality changes. Instead of becoming more social, long-term users are often described as increasingly antisocial and narcissistic.
That stuff destroys your soul. There's no other way to put it.
I was almost pushy with my boyfriend on coke and more aggressive. But at the same time, I got super sensitive.
Coke turns you into an animal. I get so aggressive and barbaric.
I just got like 8 primes. You guys are fucking fiends. Please whoosh me. Oh my God, I need this. 6 months of prime. Thanks, bro. It's not going to hit the same, I'll tell you that.
Eric, and sometimes I just enjoy just dropping politeness and randomly screaming at people.
Surhold confirms that aggression is a common behavioral side effect. Many heavy users eventually stop functioning in groups, isolating themselves and retreating into compulsive habits like endless YouTube binges or gaming marathons.
Wait, are you guys all on coke for real? Wait, are you guys all on coke for real?
Lars hasn't left his room for days. He skipped work 3 days in a row. He's basically done nothing but order pizza, scroll through TikTok, and snort coke.
Dude.
Max would also prefer to crash in his couch.
It's so sad. It's so sad that there's a part of your brain that's like, damn, kind of sounds fire. Except for the coke part. Just the idea of like 3 days, pizza, scrolling, YouTube on. It sounds kind of fire, like high key. But you know it's long-term terrible. We all know it. But it's fucking, there's a part of your brain that just wants to rot, dude.
Roll through TikTok and snort coke. Max would also prefer to crash in his couch, but he's forced himself out tonight, and coke helps him cope with larger groups of people.
If I'm invited somewhere, like to a loud bar with 10 people talking at once, I just know I'll need a line beforehand. Otherwise, I can't handle it. All those people talking over each other and that heavy background noise.
Something strange happens when Max does coke. Instead of stimulating him, it calms him down. It slows his thoughts. That's because Max has ADHD.
Of course, I feel more awake in general, but when you have ADHD, everything just starts to feel calmer. Because all that stuff that usually floods in, you can suddenly filter out and focus really well.
Max uses coke as a sort of self-prescribed medicine.
Okay, it's not medicine.
In the next
If
user
you
group,
have ADHD, it's not medicine.
Surhold says that for people with ADHD or depression, cocaine can subjectively feel like it helps, although in reality, it makes it worse.
Well,
the way cocaine acts is similar to some ADHD meds. Put simply, it stimulates areas of the brain that tend to be underactive in people with ADHD. For example, a cocaine-infused dopamine surge can temporarily compensate for an ADHD-related lack of dopamine, making affected users feel calmer and more focused. But this relief can backfire fast. People who get used to solving their problems with cocaine are at a higher risk of slipping into addiction. Those post-high crashes can deepen depression and even increase the risk of suicidal thoughts.
Jesus Christ.
Real help doesn't come from a substance. It comes from reaching out and getting support. Max started using more and more too.
Okay.
What began as occasionally before going out turned into every day at work.
Yikes. Dude, that seems expensive on its own.
If I knew I had work on a larger project, then I'd treat myself to a little bump to get started, sometimes even in the morning. But most of the time I just start using around midday.
That puts him in the last and probably the smallest of the 4 groups, those who do coke to perform. Surhold explains that this group includes people who need to deliver, at work, during sports, or in any other setting that requires stamina.
There's no way.
Cocaine doesn't actually increase performance.
Yeah, I was going to
but
say.
It keeps users awake, alert, and on the job longer. Marco can barely get through work without it anymore. He's self-employed and often works through the night, only crashing around noon the next day.
It's extremely hard for me to keep my sales this high without the substance. It sounds bad, but thanks to coke, I don't depend on any employer.
Yeah, but I feel like it's cope, bro. I feel like that's like your mind reverse explaining the addiction. Like you're addicted to it, and so it's like, well, it's because it helps me with my, but like, I don't think it's actually.
This is a feeling many users in the group share.
As a recruiter, I spend days making calls and nights writing emails to potential candidates.
I was heavily addicted for 2 years.
Bro, if you're a recruiter right now, you do none of those things. You're a recruiter right now? You might send an email a fucking week, AI generated, and ain't nobody getting a call. You don't need Coke for that.
I just started my own business and just wanted to keep performing.
For a long time, Coke had the image of a luxury drug for top-earning, overly ambitious high performers.
Second key to success in this racket is
This is a great
little
scene.
baby right here. It's called cocaine. Right.
But Surhold says that's
That's
changed.
a great scene.
Those people still exist, but Coke has long since reached other worlds. Shift work, for example.
To make sure we all get home safe from work at the aluminium plant, I need to stay awake and flawless.
The drug is also used in other sectors, like nursing.
Oh,
I
God.
do Coke to get through my hospital shifts.
Dude, obviously they shouldn't do that, but I'm just saying, man, the more I learn about nursing, it's like they just got to hire more nurses, man. We got to change something. It's insane. Their schedules are so ridiculous and they're in charge of such important shit. Why are the shifts so long? It doesn't make any fucking sense. They do like 12 hours. It doesn't make any sense. It's insane. The people at the end of their shift are not human. They're zombies. And they have to, like, if I'm getting the last shift of nurses, I would give them Coke. Please take a bump before you take my vitals. Just please, because I don't trust you. It's crazy.
First year as a social care worker, I did 0.5 gram per 5-hour shift.
But there's one industry where cocaine seems especially common.
12-hour shift isn't too bad. 12-hour shift is bad. Just full stop. But also they're doing 4x12. So 4 12-hour shifts in a week. That is just horrendous, dude. 4x12s is insane. It's a fucking insane thing to do. You get fucking burnt. Didn't know you were a wokey. 3x12? My friend's a nurse. She said 4x12, but I'm sure some do 3x12s. I don't know. I just think it's crazy.
Starting with bouncers like Tony.
Sorry, but XQC does that shit every week and doesn't complain. You know what? You're fucking right. Why do our greedy, selfish nurses complain all month when our streamers like XQC put in the real work?
Bartenders.
This way I don't get too drunk when I have a drink with the guests.
Waiters.
I could do the work of 2 waiters when I was on it.
And even cooks.
And I think gastronomy is one of the worst industries for it. Like,
your coked out waiter just rushing around thinking they're like the greatest waiter of all time. I'm a super waiter. I can you're just fucking eyes bloodshot, tweaking, picking up all your shit off the table.
70 to 80% of the people there do it.
Men especially use coke, roughly 2 to 3 times as much, according to Surhold. No matter who wants it, they can get it. Ridiculously easy and incredibly fast. Linda lives in a small town in eastern Germany. For her, coke is just a phone call away.
One call or a short message is all it takes, especially in small towns. People don't expect that. But I feel like, especially in East Germany, it's really, really easy to get drugs, even hard ones.
It's no different for Tony at the club.
Even if you don't know anyone in the city, you can just walk into a club and get your hands on something in under 5 minutes. I promise.
In major European cities like Berlin, Madrid, Vienna, or Amsterdam, so-called drug taxis deliver cocaine right to your door within minutes.
Wow, they have convenience.
In this case, accessibility is part of a much bigger and very
Uber for
serious
coke?
problem. In other cases, fast and easy access is exactly what you want. Like when you're trying to access your high-end workspace from some picturesque beach cafe halfway across the world. That's where AnyDesk comes in. They're room/fern and stay connected. In most European countries, a gram of coke costs roughly 60 to 80 euros.
That is crazy.
Some estimates put street prices as low as 20 euros per gram in Luxembourg and up to 140 euros per gram in Finland. Producing that same gram costs just 1 to 3 euros. The difference is pocketed by smugglers, middlemen, and dealers. To further boost profits, the product also gets cut and sometimes contaminated with anything that
23
vaguely
bucks?
resembles white powder. Speed, amphetamine, caffeine pills, and milk sugar. But one of the most common cutting agents is levamisole, a medication used to treat parasitic worm infections in large livestock.
What?
It looks a lot like cocaine, and once metabolized, it can even mimic some of its effects. But there's also good news. Well, sort of.
Also wir wissen, dass Kokain momentan einen Reinheitsgehalt von 80% hat. Das heißt, es sind 20% Streckmittel drin. Das war mal
Bro, they need a Walter White to come in here and do the blue snow or something. Make it blue, make it 100%. This is crazy. 20% cutting agents you don't even know?
viel dramatischer.
The 2025 European Drug Report confirms these numbers. Average cocaine purity is on an upward trend and has increased by 34% over the last decade. But higher purity poses new dangers. It increases the risk of overdosing. The purer the substance, the smaller the margin for error. If you don't know how to adjust your dose to match the purity, you're in trouble.
Oh, people want it to be
In many
more impure so
European
they could-
countries, drug checking, also known as pill testing, has become a key harm reduction practice. Users can go to qualified facilities to anonymously test substances like cocaine for purity and dangerous additives. You can also test your drugs at many clubs and festivals. We've listed some helpful resources for finding testing sites in the description.
Okay.
But the purest cocaine, of course,
Okay,
is still
this-
found where it all begins. Here, in Colombia, on the
Colombia.
eastern slopes of the Andes, grows an inconspicuous green
We're going
shrub,
to invade there soon,
the coca
probably.
plant. It's been part of South American indigenous culture for thousands of years. People here were already chewing coca leaves some 4,000 to 8,000 years ago. Ever since, coca leaves have been serving as fuel for exhausting journeys across the towering Andes. The Inca treated the coca plant as sacred. They often used it in rituals and religious ceremonies. In the early 17th century, sailors brought coca leaves from South America to Europe. By the mid-19th century, German chemist Albert Niemann discovered that he could extract a white powder from them. He called it cocaine. In 18...
You know Albert Neiman was having a good time. You know Albert Neiman went fuck. That's, by the way, his son went on to be a notorious chess cheater. Okay? Yeah, and I think there's some cocaine involved in that too.
1862, German pharmaceutical company Merck first produced the substance for commercial sale. A year later, French chemist Angelo Mariani created a medical cocktail
It used
made
to
from
be in
Bordeaux
soda, right?
wine
Coca-Cola?
and coca leaves. This special wine was produced by soaking 60 grams of coca leaves in a liter of wine for 10 hours. The alcohol drew out the active compound in the coca leaves. Rumor has it, Mariani originally created the drink as medicine for an actress suffering from depression. Later on, it allegedly became Pope Leo XIII's favorite drink. A few years later, American pharmacist John Pemberton took inspiration from Mariani's concoction. Alcohol was controversial in the US back then, so Pemberton dropped the wine and added cola nuts, which contained caffeine.
Coca-Cola!
Then he flavored the bitter drink with lavender, caramel, cinnamon, and sugar, and topped the bottles off with soda water. In 1886, the first iteration of Coca-Cola was born.
Holy shit.
At first, a liter of Coca-Cola reportedly contained about 250 milligrams of cocaine. Some sources have even speculated about an insane 3.5 grams per bottle. The exact formula and cocaine content remain a secret to this
People
day.
were living it up.
It's possible the
Little
drink
kid,
never
little
actually
Timmy at the soda
contained
fountain?
cocaine, but mainly ecgonine, a natural but non-addictive coca compound. Cocaine was already used in medicine before the invention of Coca-Cola, first in analgesic eye drops and later as a local anesthetic. By the late 19th century, cocaine was all over Europe. snorted or consumed as menthol eucalyptus lozenges to cure sore throats.
Oh, wow. Coke
One
tablets?
pill every 4 to 6 hours, each containing around 3 milligrams
For your
of cocaine.
sore throat?
Kids were even given cocaine toothache drops, sold at the pharmacy, no prescription needed. Then, in 1914, the Harrison Narcotic Act took effect in the U.S., banning cocaine from soft drinks and over-the-counter drugs.
We're going to be back to that.
That same year, World War I broke out, and British soldiers started using cocaine as a stimulant. By World War II, German, British, American, and Japanese troops all turned to amphetamines. You may have heard of tank chocolate or airman's marzipan. Today, the medical use of cocaine is limited to a few rare cases where...
Okay, but I'll say, like, if you're in the trenches of World War I and you need a bump, like, I don't judge you. But if you're a bouncer who needs to say, I need to see your ID... It's a different, you know what I'm saying? Like, if you might die, then all right, fuck it. You know what all right, Genie O's, thank you for the gifted.
It's still used as a local anesthetic. You won't find it in sodas or on pharmacy shelves anymore. And yet, global cocaine production is at a historic high. Today, most of the cocaine sold and consumed around the globe comes from just 3 countries: Peru, Bolivia, and above all, Colombia. The coca plants are grown on vast plantations alongside bananas, coffee, and palm oil. For many farmers, coca makes economic sense. The plant is resilient and can be harvested up to 7 times a year. Growing coca is often far more profitable than farming legal crops.
The income I earn from coca allows me and my family to get what we need to live. Only the essentials.
There are different ways to produce cocaine, but all of them start the same way, with harvesting, which is done.
So remember I did a video about how the coke cartels, the coke farms, started invading and taking over the banana farms so they could steal their shipping supplies and like port access, and so they could smuggle the coke within the bananas because the coke was so much more profitable than the banana, which was pretty insane. Yeah.
And entirely by hand.
Yeah, I made a video on it. I know. I remember
First,
that.
the leaves are chopped up. Then they're sprinkled with fertilizer and dusted with lime. The fertilizer helps release the active substance from the coca leaves. The mixture is often soaked in gasoline to boost extraction.
Oh, God.
Most farmers work with little to no protective gear. Then the leaves sit overnight in large barrels or holes in the ground. They're repeatedly doused with gasoline, stirred, and stomped on until the concoction starts to curdle. After the liquid is extracted from the mixture, sulfuric acid and water are added to it. This pulp has to be filtered again until you get this thick paste, the so-called coca paste.
Ugh.
In the final stages, adding carbonate salt and diethyl ether produces a white mass that the workers dry by boiling. A few final...
Can I say it? I think if coke was like sludgy looking or gray, it would be 1/50th as popular. I think the fact that it looks like that white powder makes it seem something about it. I literally think that's why. People think it's like cleaner.
Chemical tweaks create the fine white powder that ends up in millions of noses around the world. In 2022 alone, an estimated 2,700 tons of cocaine were produced in South America.
Clean coke, folks.
Across the production and supply chains, drug cartels call the shots. For decades, authorities worldwide have been waging a bitter war against them. In Colombia alone, 6 decades of drug-fueled conflict have killed around 450,000 people, displaced more than 8 million, and forced tens of thousands of children out of school. Some South American countries have been partly labeled failed states. In these regions, extremely rich and powerful cartels have successfully infiltrated and taken control of the government.
Que la guerra contra las drogas ha fracasado rotundamente.
When we think of cartels, we immediately jump to Pablo Escobar and Colombia's Medellin or Cali outfits. But those big Colombian cartels were dismantled in the 1990s. The resulting power vacuum has been filled by Mexican syndicate. They dominate the global cocaine trade to this day. The most important players are the Sinaloa cartel and the fast-rising...
You know what, though? I think if we get rid of these cartels, that'll be it. Do you know what I'm saying? If we can just kill the leader of this cartel, boom. We've finally cut the head off the snake and it's done. That will have won the war and it's over. I do not think that anything new will ever spring up to meet the endless, insatiable demand for cocaine. I think it will just be the
Jalisco
end.
New Generation Cartel, or CJNG. On the ground, they partner with criminal guerrilla groups, the Gulf Clan, Colombia's National Liberation Army, or ELN, or the Central General Staff, EMC.
90% of war on drugs stop just before they win. It's the guy with the diamonds, but instead of diamonds, it's mountains of coke. Yes, dude, we'll stop it. We just gotta...
For international distribution, they cooperate with some of the world's most notorious mafia networks, from Chinese triads and the Albanian mafia to Italy's Ndrangheta. These criminal organizations each manage local retail in their respective domestic markets. South America has...
We shouldn't make our own to compete with them. I mean, look, I don't think we should for things like coke, but if you legalized it, fucking Pfizer would have a hit squad killing all the cartels in 2 days. And it would be in every grocery store and they would own the supply chain. Like, it's not... If they were able to sell it and they didn't need it would be over. Johnson & Johnson Coke would be on every street corner, and why shouldn't we do that? Well, similarly to with legalizing gambling, it turns out that when you legalize it, there is some percentage of people who wouldn't have done it before who now do it. And so you end up with a huge wave of new addiction. You know, people said the argument, oh, if we legalize all this gambling and put it on your phone, then finally we'll be able to tax it and we'll have tax revenue. It won't be underground. But it turns out when it was underground, it was a lot smaller amount of people. So that's the problem. I mean, really, you have to find a way, whether it's through, I don't know, a combination of education and alternatives or whatever, to reduce demand. You can, of course, you know, protect your border and spend some amount of money and time, but the idea that you're going to like throw enough money or troops or soldiers at it and then stop drugs is crazy. There's massive demand, and so people will keep creating it to fill that the demand. They'll keep creating supply. So yeah, I think you got to find a way. We should legalize therapy. That's your plan? Legalize therapy. It is legal. That's not... That's the millennial solution. We need a legal... Once we make comedy legal again, then we're not going to worry about the drugs.
Become one of the world's major hubs for organized crime. From here, cocaine fans out to every corner of the globe. There are countless ways to move cocaine across borders. Trafficking to North America is often handled via undeclared flights or clandestine fishing boats. It's a never-ending cat-and-mouse game between traffickers and law enforcement agents, one that forces smugglers to get creative. Some cartels have started to build their own semi-submersible high-tech vessels. We made a whole video about these so-called narco subs.
Is crazy.
The link's in the description.
They got subs now.
Most of the cocaine heading to Europe is hidden in massive cargo ships. This contraband has been found inside all kinds of objects: books, surfboards, car tires, pumpkins, and even inside walking aids for the elderly. But one hiding place still reigns supreme for all EU-bound traffic.
Oh!
Banana crates.
Pre-watched.
About 200 million banana boxes are imported into the EU.
Pre-made a video on it. Atrioc banana cocaine. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Marketing Monday Wins and Fails, a show that covers all of the interesting stories in the last week in marketing. But America's cocaine increases in supply that would normally lower cost have not.
you each year. Finding the one stuffed with cocaine is like looking for a proverbial needle in a haystack. The North
Look at
Sea
that
has
hair.
become one of the...
I have the same hair now. Wait, I want to see. Where did I just closed it? Young Atrioc. This is like a year and a half ago. It's not that crazy. Damn, my hair does look kind of good though. High key. I think this is what I'm talking about. I think I definitely got some. I added some weight, bro. It's not. I don't think it's the hair. I think it's the weight, and also my beard is longer. I'm chunked up. I'm not taking off the hat because my hair's greasy because I worked out today. But it's the same. It's the same. It's the same. I think I ate too much snacks, bro. That's why I gotta get back. This guy was working out. I gotta work out.
Main entry points.
Like I was
The
doing
port of
coke. I
Antwerp
gotta get back on
in
that.
Belgium is widely considered Europe's biggest drug gateway, followed by Rotterdam in the Netherlands. But Hamburg, Germany's biggest port, is quickly catching up. These
Bro,
German
Germany
customs
loves their coke,
officers
huh?
are desperately trying to find a few kilos of coke hidden somewhere inside a giant cargo ship. But even if they do find the stash, it'll barely put a dent in the avalanche of illegal drugs moving across borders. In 2004, German authorities seized just under a ton of cocaine. By 2024, that number had jumped to over 40 tons. This is in line.
Plot twist, the German authorities are just way more addicted to coke now. They're just seizing more to feed their ever-growing habit of everyone on the force.
2024, that number had jumped to over 40 tons. This is in line with a Europe-wide
Hitler
trend.
was chief in that shit.
In 2023, a total of 419 tons of
chief
cocaine were
coke.
seized,
And then
marking the
also-
7th consecutive annual high.
Tatsächlich stellen wir und die Polizei auch fest, dass egal wie
timing
viel
is not-
Kokain wir sicherstellen, das hat keine Auswirkung auf den Straßenverkaufspreis oder auf die da zur Verfügung stehende Menge. Also das tatsächlich, es ist unbeschreiblich viel.
And along with this white powder moving into Europe comes another harmful phenomenon: violence.
Yikes.
This is a street in the heart of Amsterdam, filled with bars and restaurants. It's July 2021, just before 7:30 p.m. A man in a light-colored suit walks down the street, eyes fixed on his phone.
Okay, that's very
His
normal.
name is Peter de Vries. He's one of the Netherlands' most famous crime reporters, a familiar face on TV when it comes to the mafia or organized crime.
Okay.
Right now, he's investigating a Moroccan group known as the Mokro Mafia, another organization heavily involved in cocaine trafficking.
Okay.
De Vries is advising the key witness in a major trial. Shortly after the case began, the witness's brother and lawyer were both murdered.
Jesus Christ!
De Vries has just left a TV studio. He's heading to a parking garage to get his car.
Oh, he's not dead.
Seconds after he walks down the street, he's followed by a police car. After the car passes around the corner, 5 shots are fired.
From the cop car?
De Vries is hit several times, at least once in the head. It's a targeted killing. He's rushed to the hospital in critical condition and dies 9 days later.
Jesus
A
Christ.
man who stood for justice.
Ondersteunen. Een man
That is
als
exactly
geen ander
what is so unacceptable.
staat voor gerechtigheid.
That is horrible injustice happened to
En
him.
juist
This is our UN read now.
In 2024, 3 men are sentenced to up to 28 years in prison for his murder.
Berichten zufolge ließ ihn der angeklagte mutmaßliche Mafia-Boss auf eine Todesliste setzen.
Organized crime long ago gained a foothold in Europe's major cities. In 2016, a
Jesus.
severed head was found outside an Amsterdam cafe alleged to be a hangout for drug dealers. In Sweden, gang and drug-related violence has been claiming more and more lives in recent years.
And you wonder why fucking Aiden's moving there. Interesting. This is unconfirmed, but Aiden's been doing a lot more coke lately. And suddenly, interesting. He's always taking weird calls, people overseas. He told me he had connections to the Venezuelan government because of Mario Kart. Mario Kart, Aiden? Yeah, I'm sure it's Mario Kart, bro. That's where you get all your connections?
In some cases, even teenagers were recruited as hitmen. In 2024, several explosions and shootings in the German city of Cologne were linked to drug-related gang violence. According to the European Monitoring Center for Drugs and Drug Addiction, violence and homicide are major manifestations of the illegal drug trade. A Dutch research team found that these killings are often acts of compensation for failure to pay for or deliver drugs. Other attacks are meant to intimidate rivals or assert a certain position in the scene. It's actually a lot like it is in the movies. Cocaine represents deadly narcissism and toxic masculinity, but also power and wealth in general, luxury and excess, the ultimate fantasy of defiance and freedom. That
Okay.
image still seems to appeal to a lot of people, and not all of them are criminals. 3:52 a.m. Linda's moved on to an after party. Tony's shift is almost over. Marco's hopefully done
One
too.
more bump?
Nick is still playing World of Warcraft. Lars and Max have already called it a night. A new day begins.
Depending on how the stuff was cut, I
This whole
sometimes
fucking video's been on a journey, and Nick the entire time is just playing WoW. High as a kite.
end up with a bloody nose.
He's
and a
locked
bit of
in,
a
bro.
headache.
I actually regret it the next day, like always. And I keep regretting it for a few days after too, because I feel sluggish. My nose hurts. Everything kind of tastes like Coke. Life just feels a bit dull, with less drive and less joy.
Won't it be better instead of drug dealers, the government selling drugs to fund themselves, reduce drug usage, to undercut the drug dealers, like kind of like the lottery? Here's the problem, okay? This is why it's a difficult question. Is if something like cocaine is legal, the odds are the number of people using cocaine will go up dramatically, not down. It goes up. So, like for example, with sports gambling, you'll start seeing cocaine ads all over TV. You'll see Coke everywhere. It'll be Coke on the corner of your fucking grocery store. It'll be Coke all over. And people will get into it and they'll make it seem cool and they'll have flashy advertisements and you'll end up with a much larger percentage of the population addicted to Coke. So that's a balance you got to figure out because that's as societal consequences. Kevin Hart will tell you to do Coke. Within frame one. The day it's legalized, Kevin Hart will have a Kevin Hart brand Coke and he will be on TV doing 14 ads for it. Okay? So you gotta listen. I think people said a lot of these arguments before sports gambling is what's convinced me sort of the other side, which is that there's certain things that I think should be illegal and you have to balance the cost of an endless war. But the truth is that sports gambling being legalized has been a net negative for society. Like it's the number of young people in Gamblers Anonymous has skyrocketed. The number of people financially ruined, suicides related, it's all up. So it's like, the idea that people will just figure it out, I think is not true because it exploits a weakness in the human brain. You need to make it economically unviable to produce. What you really need to do is find a way to get people to not want it. That's the God's honest truth, bro. That's the only solution. That's the only real total solution is that people say impossible. We did do it with smoking. The demand for smoking went down. People didn't want the cigarettes as much. Whether it's stigmatizing it, I don't know what, but you know what we should do? People say create something better. I think we could reduce Coke usage by inventing the Riot MMO. If we release an addictive enough MMO, we can stop people from having time to go outside to buy addictive drugs. Clean cocaine.
Tatsächlich auch so, dass nach dem Konsum einige Leute von Depressionen berichten, von schlechter Stimmung, von Trübsinn, ne, von Antriebslosigkeit. Also das ist natürlich von Mensch zu Mensch verschieden, aber das ist tatsächlich relativ häufig, dass sowas berichtet wird. Und das kann schon auch mal 2 Tage dauern.
That's why long breaks between doses are so important, because for those who use too much too often, the side effects can hit hard. Many heavy users experience heart palpitations. Extreme cases can lead to full-on heart attacks. Some people get paranoid because they feel like something's crawling under their skin, as if they had insects inside their body.
Ugh.
Over time, Lars's cocaine use has spiraled out of control. He cut off contact with his family and friends and ignored their calls. At some point, his roommate felt obliged to call his parents. They cried on the phone when he broke it to them. Lars is seriously addicted to coke. He really needs your help.
My help? I don't know. I want maybe for Lars.
Today, they're picking him up from rehab. They're in tears again, but this time it's tears of joy. Lars has been clean for 6 weeks, and he's determined to keep it that way.
What about Nick?
Max is also...
Is he still playing WoW? It's 6 weeks later. Has anyone checked on Nick? He's just playing WoW the whole time?
Pulled the plug.
For me, it was about money, health, and having to constantly hide it from my family.
He got gladiated.
My friends and my partner. It got too exhausting. All of that just to get through the day.
Max has been off cocaine for 3 months now. But fighting addiction is anything but easy. It's the psychological addiction that's so hard to overcome. And that's often much tougher to beat than anything physical. It's hard to capture addictiveness in a single chart, but researchers have spent years mapping and comparing psychological and social harm across substances.
Steroids are
Cocaine
addictive?
consistently ranks among the most addictive drugs, legal or illegal. When it's smoked as crack, it even tops the list. Getting off the drug means constantly fighting that little voice in your head, that voice that keeps whispering, you can't make it through a long party night without coke. You can't do your job at the door unless you're high. Gaming is only fun when you're wired.
At some point, I was using every day. That dopamine hit is actually pretty wild when you're gaming. But then I cut back and realized I couldn't really enjoy it anymore without coke.
Bei Kokain sehe ich einfach das große Risiko, also dass man eben denkt, man hat das Konsumverhalten noch unter Kontrolle und merkt gar nicht, wie es immer mehr wird.
In every new round of World of Warcraft, Nicholas has to remind himself that he doesn't actually need coke to enjoy the game. He's been staying clear of the white powder for months now.
Okay, but he's still on WoW, so...
Es gibt bestimmte körperliche Voraussetzungen, bei denen man definitiv kein Kokain nehmen sollte, weil es einfach dann zu gefährlich ist für den Körper.
PvP.
That's why it's so important to have people like Heike Zurhold doing the work she does, researching, informing, and helping people find a way out before it's too late. Cocaine might seem harmless for some. A boost at work, a party pick-me-up, a quick confidence fix, or an escape from everyday stress. But the illusion of control is part of the trap. Over time, tolerance builds, addiction creeps in, and the risks pile up. Heart problems, paranoia.
So I will say, I did a Christmas Big A video where I talked about the Harvard happiness study, the Gantt study. And I talked about how human relationships are like the number one predictor of happiness, yada, yada, yada. Well, I didn't mention the downside. They said the number one predictor of unhappiness, of like failed marriage, life blown off track, was alcoholism and addiction in general. But they mentioned alcoholism, which is like once you get dependent on a substance like alcohol, and I assume for cocaine, it was the number one predictor of like becoming estranged from those around you, from whatever. People regretted it the most of anything. Number 2 was League of Legends. Yeah, and it like destroys your body. Destroys, it was pretty bad.
Paranoia, anxiety, and serious damage to mental health. Cocaine doesn't make life bigger. It slowly takes it apart. For people dealing with depression, ADHD, or emotional struggles, it can be even more dangerous. The post-high crashes can deepen the lows, feed addiction, and even push people toward self-harm. Real help doesn't come from a substance. It comes from connection, from talking to someone, from getting help. So if you're struggling,
is this video considered vibe terrorism?
Talk to a friend, a therapist.
I mean, it would be crazy to pull out your phone and play a 37-minute video on coke if someone's at a party trying to do a line. No, watch this. Watch this. I know it makes it seem cool at the beginning, but wait till the end.
A hotline, anyone you trust. And if you know someone who might need to hear this, send them this video. We need to talk about cocaine. We need to talk to each other.
I mean, yeah, good video. I appreciated that. Interesting. Definitely, I think I mentioned this before, but it just does, cocaine or not, it's like dopamine addiction in some form, whether it's, I don't know, whether it's junk food or video games or phone or scrolling or drugs or a whoosh in chat, dude. I feel like everyone, the dopamine part of our brain is like the weakest part of our brain, the most easy to hack. And like everything is figured out how to exploit it for money.